This is Dylan Garven, founder of Studio D and co-host of Dynasty. Dynasty is a year-long project that follows the past NBA season. So if you're into sports, music, or an analytics nerd like me, then this is the podcast for you. We will release new episodes every Tuesday during the NBA playoffs, and you can find us on studiod.co. Also, follow us at this_is_dynasty on Twitter and Instagram for updates and more conversation. Enjoy today's episode. Growing up, my dad would always tell me the famous story of how he saw Michael Jordan.
We were all psyched to see Michael Jordan, the world's famous basketball player, right, of all times. So Michael Jordan, of course, was at our time one of the most valuable players and spectacular players as well. Just his awesome dunks and what he did for the Chicago Bulls, which was a fantastic team. Scottie Pippen, Rodman, Steve Kerr, but all these guys played. Jordan was the guy, but they were good as a team. Of course, Jordan made it even better.
In the summer of 1984, the Chicago Bulls had the third pick in the upcoming NBA draft. With it, they took Michael Jordan. Fast forward a few years to 1991, and the Bulls won 3 NBA championships in a row. A few years later, after Michael Jordan came out of retirement, the Bulls won another 3 championships. Michael Jordan was a 14-time NBA All-Star, 5-time MVP winner, 6-time NBA champion, NBA Defensive Player of the Year, NBA Rookie of the Year, and NBA Playoffs all-time leading scorer.
So I take my daughter who played basketball at school, and we're going to see the 76ers, which we didn't care about, but we live in Philadelphia, so we're going to see the Sixers. We get tickets. Michael Jordan at this time is off the Bulls. And
okay, so this wasn't the Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan, but it was still Michael Jordan.
Wizards. And so we get down there, we drive, park, get all excited to see Michael Jordan. Hopefully going to do some dunking, flying in the air Jordan stuff. And we get there and we see him down the floor and he's dressed in a suit. And so he was on the sidelines the whole night. And he just kind of coached and sat there, and he never played. So that was our famous story of seeing Michael Jordan, but never seeing Michael Jordan actually play.
Okay, so the NBA formed in 1949 with only 16 teams. There were teams like the Baltimore Bullets, the St. Louis Bombers, the Chicago Stags, the Waterloo Hawks, and the Sheboygan Redskins. But now there's 30 teams, and we recognize them like the Golden State Warriors, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Philadelphia 76ers. But what's crazy is, after all that time, only 19 have won a championship at least once. That means 11 have never won an NBA championship. What's even crazier is only 5 teams have won more than 3 times. The Lakers and Celtics combined for 33 championships. That leaves 37 for everyone else. Dynasty is a word that pops up in sports a lot. It generally means a team that sustains success and rules their era. Think Greece, Rome, Britain. Millions of people watch the NBA every season, rooting for their favorite team, picking their favorite players. My name is Dylan Garven, and I'm more interested in the game outside of the game. In this simple game that involves 1 ball, 2 hoops, and 10 players, how do you crack the code and build the perfect team? This is Dynasty.
I mean, people see so much potential in it too.
I see potential, but
his ball handling skills for his height. What is he, 7'1"? And he's able
he's
to.
Not 7'1".
I think he's 7'1".
7'1"? You think he's 7'1"?
I think he is.
I think he's only 6'11".
Either way, that's a tall man.
It is a tall guy.
That's my brother. He's 6'3", I'm 5'7", so he's a little bit closer to following his NBA dream. Still, we are both diehard 76ers fans and we love discussing basketball. So I asked him.
All right, so what qualifies as a dynasty?
Qualifies as a dynasty. Anything, I would say a dynasty would be a team that not only has championships, but is consistently there. So I was thinking about it, like Patriots consistently in playoffs, and then they have championship rings. Spurs consistently in playoffs, also have championships. But then you can't just pick up like a new team like the Warriors. They're becoming what could be thought of as a dynasty,
but they're not there yet.
So
how many championships?
I would say like 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
I think 3 would solidify it.
All right, let me run down. Start of NBA from the 1950s. All right, so you have the Minneapolis Lakers. From 1950 to 1954, they won 4 in 5 years. Dynasty.
But how many times they make the playoffs out of 10, 20 years after?
10, 20 years after.
Yeah.
But isn't it that specific team?
Oh, so you're saying the team itself would be a dynasty rather than organization?
Not the organization, yeah, the team.
Then yeah, I would take a dynasty. Yeah, they would be a dynasty. Yeah.
All right, Boston Celtics, easy one. 12 finals in 13 years. They won 11
Absolutely.
times. All right. After that, the 70s, New York Knicks. They went to 3 finals in 4 years, and they won twice.
So I wouldn't count them.
You wouldn't count that twice?
I would bring them down.
So 2 championships is
2
enough?
championships is nice, and even the finals. But if they can't wrap up 3 out of the 4 times, it would be a dynasty team.
You have the Celtics in 1974 to 1976. They went 2 in 3 years, and they won the 2.
Oh, won twice.
They won the
what
2.
team was that?
It was a pretty nondescript team, the 74.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have any superstars.
And I think
But they
along
won
with the
2.
championships, which we'll probably get to later, but like you got to recognize that team. Like I recognize that big championship Celtics team as Bill Russell's team. You got the faces, you got the characters, and you know that's like it comes to mind.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. So Supersonics after that, they won. They went 2 years in a row, won once. Not enough.
Yeah.
Can't just win one, right?
No.
All right, so 1980s, this is the interesting one. You had the 76ers went to 3 finals in 4 years, but they only won 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't count them.
So they're consistently good, but they only won 1, so no dynasty.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Lakers, 8 finals in 10 years. They won 5 of them.
Yeah. I mean,
That's Magic's team.
Yeah.
And then the Celtics, 5 finals. They won
Bird.
3 with Larry
Yep.
Bird. Dynasty.
Another name for the face. Yep.
So can you have 2 dynasties in the same era?
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay.
Because they went back to back playing each other. It was Bird versus MJ, right? Yeah, Magic Johnson. Yeah. So constantly going against each other.
All right. So you have in there the Pistons right after that.
And the Pistons won their back-to-back years.
Well, they kept losing to the Celtics, so they were good.
They were good. See, that's a funny one because after the Celtics and the Lakers went, the Pistons took their little time, and I think that was the Bad Boys era with Isaiah Thomas and all them. So I think it could have gone further, but then Jordan came after it with the Bulls, right?
Yeah, so they kind of died
I
early,
think
but they
they-
went to 3 straight, and
I
they
think
won
they
2
cut
of
them
them.
short, and that's when I would put a dynasty because it was a short-lived dynasty. So actually, no, I wouldn't, because I think a dynasty needs to live up for a long enough time that people consistently think that team's gonna win.
So we're saying at least 3 championships, or
They're always there,
yeah. So it needs to be at least 3 though. It couldn't be you can make the finals 7 times.
and it wouldn't matter.
What if you made finals 7 times in a row, but you only won once?
Then no.
No dynasty.
Yeah, you could be a very, very consistent team, but if you can't finish, then everyone thinks it's not. Like, would you view the Buffalo Bills, when they made the 4 Super Bowls in a row, a dynasty, as they got every single time, but they couldn't finish it?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because then people started expecting that they would lose.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, hey, this team's going to win if they get there.
All right, so you get the 90s, Bulls, win 6 in 8 years.
Yeah.
Obvious dynasty. How about the Rockets winning the 2 in between that?
Yeah, see, that's another one.
Because, they would have been good if Jordan didn't win.
So then I'd say no again, because then Jordan cut short the Pistons, and he also cut short the Rockets in between. His little break came back and shut it down.
Okay.
So not a dynasty again. Because 1 could be chance, 2 could be coincidence, and then 3 solidifies it, I believe.
Okay.
That's what it would be.
So Warriors, if they never, well, they've only won 1, but let's say they win this year, and then never win after that.
Then no.
No dynasty. They've been to 3 straight. They won 2.
Straight finals, 1-2, but no.
Okay, so here's the ones I remember. 1999 and 2014, Spurs go to 6, they win 5. Lakers go to 7, they win 5. That's the same argument. Can you have 2 dynasties in one era?
Yeah,
Kind of like the Lakers Celtics. We got the Spurs and the Lakers,
yeah.
and they fit both. So they're consistently good. They finished, and they have those star players. They had Tim Duncan, they had Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, and you keep putting names to the team, faces to the team.
But even though Shaquille O'Neal left, is that the same dynasty? Because they won 3. You could call that its own dynasty, but would you call the 5 Kobe Bryant's dynasty? Are those 2 different teams?
and the ones in between.
But
I do. When it's ever Kobe and Shaq, it's Kobe and Shaq. And then it was what? Kobe and Pau Gasol and Kobe and Andrew Bynum. Like stuff like that. Like
okay, so D'Angelo Russell and Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
They start winning. That's a different dynasty, right?
Yeah, different. Okay. Absolutely. 'Cause after the Mamba left, it's a whole new era.
All right. So yeah, the way I look at it, you need to win at least 3 and be consistently good.
Yes. Like if there was a team that won 3 years right in a row and won all 3, they weren't good the years before. They got to maybe some like quarterfinals, semifinals, never to the finals. And then after those 3 just stopped and did no more, I still wouldn't call it a dynasty. You wouldn't call it dynasty? Because I think they need to be over like a 5 to 10 year span. Their name is in the mix as being the ones to win. Yeah. They're in that top 5 talk.
So you win 3 in 10 years, not consecutively. Let's say you win, you suck, you win, you suck, you win. Same team, same start players, that dynasty? Or it's too spread out?
Well, 2 spread out, and you can never have the same team over that span of time.
Yeah, let's say you have same 2 stars.
Same 2 stars.
You have Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons.
Yeah, then no. Because then it's just like, it could be fluky.
You're just good, but you're
all
not.
The other teams could be down that year, because then why didn't you go back-to-back? Why didn't you get to the finals more years than just 3? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it could be.
Thanks for listening to our pilot episode of Dynasty. If you like what you heard, they only get better, and we're going to release them every Tuesday. Next week, we talk about collecting assets. Until then, this is Dynasty.
Hey, this is Ryan. Thanks for listening to our podcast today. We'll be releasing them every Tuesday during the NBA playoffs. Dynasty is produced by Studio D, and you can find other podcasts by going to studiod.co/podcasts. You can listen to us there or any other way that you get your podcast. Also, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at this_is_dynasty for extra content and to join in on the conversation.